evening. Welcome to hour one of Through the Mirror with Larry Sinclair on the Rents Radio Network. I'm Julio Rausseo here from a snowy Chicago, Illinois, as our first snow in over 300 days, a record here in the city. Getting our first snow, which means crazy drivers on the highway and cautious drivers on the highway. And I was thinking about this today, actually, and last night, with the whole Newtown shooting that took place at Sandy Hook Elementary. And, we need more gun control. Oh, look at all this violence caused by guns. And, I'm a very cautious driver, and I can't trust other drivers. And, should we ban all cars with all the reckless drivers out there, from drunk drivers to impatient drivers, people talking on their cell phones, texting, eating, shaving, whatever? Should we ban cars now? Just like the hysteria with banning assault rifles? I tell you. But yes, we finally get snow up in Wisconsin, up north. They're getting a blizzard. And up in Iowa and Kansas, crazy storms going on as we approach what could be the final day on Earth tomorrow. All this hysteria with the 21st tomorrow. It's already the 21st in parts of, in Asia and in Australia. But just so many interesting articles. People, preppers go underground. This is from the Herald Sun in Australia. So today is down in Australia. It's supposedly the apocalypse. Doomsday warns of apocalypse. This is an interesting one. New York Post. New Yorkers who believe in Mayan apocalypse search for sex before the world ends. So people in desperation of a final romp before the Earth ends. Oh boy! In China, the communist Chinese aren't messing around with people believing in tomorrow being the last day on Earth. BBC News reporting almost 1,000 doomsday cult members arrested in China. Police in China have carried out further arrest of members of a doomsday cult for spreading rumors about the imminent end of the world, state media says. And they accuse almost 1,000 members of a Christian group, Almighty God, have now been detained. Me being a religious person, the Bible even says that the angels don't even know when the last day on Earth would be. So that's an interesting religious cult going on in China. Daily Mail reporting, dailymail.co.uk. If the Mayan prophecy is true, just how might it all end on Friday? Scientists foretell the cataclysms that could bring on the doomsday. A comet or a supervolcano could cause the end of the world. Oh boy. I don't think anything's going to happen tomorrow. Unfortunately, I have a feeling people either on medication or have been zombified believing in this end of the world prophecy. I have a feeling some may, like a cult, unfortunately take their lives or cause violence. I hope that's not the case, but Lord willing, nothing bad happens tomorrow. All right, on the first hour tonight, I'll be joined by investigative journalist Wayne Madsen of WayneMadsenReport.com. I want to get an update from Wayne. We had him on about a month ago about the Petraeus love sex scandal, the leaked emails. Well, not leaked emails, but the emails. We'll get an update from Wayne. Could someone in the Obama administration demand, or did someone in the Obama administration demand Petraeus to be fired? We'll get to all of that with Wayne Madsen. But first, he wrote an article on the 17th and 18th. What's hiding behind the Sandy Hook school massacre? And so many misinformation, false stories. We have updates constantly. Obviously, parts of corporate media are pushing the gun control agenda. But I wanted Wayne to come on to talk about what is hiding behind the Sandy Hook school massacre, as this headline states, and some of the things, of course, that corporate media is not getting into. And, of course, you can check out his fantastic work at WayneMadsenReport.com. Wayne Madsen joining us. Wayne, first off, Merry Christmas, and how are you going to spend your last day on Earth tomorrow if the Mayan prophecy is correct, which we know it's not?
Well, there's a gathering of a few folks that I'll be attending. I don't know whether it's the idea behind it is that, let's have the last couple of drinks before the end, but in any event, either there'll be the last couple of drinks or the first of many for the holidays. So either way, I think it works out.
Yeah, either way, it's a win-win situation. That is true. I'll be spending it with my girlfriend. We'll be having some drinks, and it could be the end, or it could be the start of the holiday season, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
All right, wait.
I would point out, though, I've received a couple emails from people in India and Australia where they say, well, it's come and gone, and we're still here. But according to the Mayans, they had it down to the actual time, in addition to the date. It's 11:11 Greenwich Mean Time, which is 7:11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 6:11 Central Time. So it doesn't really matter, what time it is in Australia and India, because the Mayans had it figured out to Greenwich, the time, and the time is Greenwich Mean Time. So that's not till tomorrow.
So we will find out at 7:11 Central my time. You'll be 6:11 my time.
7:11 Eastern, 11:11 Greenwich Mean Time, which is London time.
So it'll be 6 a.m. my time, and I'll be up. Maybe I'll have a breakfast shake and watch some C-SPAN and see if I'm like Marty McFly from Back to the Future, where my hands just slowly dissipates, and that's it. Who knows? We'll find out. But before we go to break, Wayne, let's talk about this unfortunate situation in Sandy Hook. I want to get your take first off. You being in the heat in D.C., knowing how corporate media is run. What are your thoughts on how corporate media responded initially to the story and how they are covering their news on this tragedy currently?
Oh, the corporate media did a horrible job with all the conflicting information, wrong information. And the reason for this is the bottom line people in these news organizations. They're not news organizations; they're companies. They've just fired producers and writers and investigators who would be, fact-checking a lot of this information, and they put it all off on people like Anderson Cooper and Wolf Blitzer and people like this to get the facts. Well, they don't get the facts. They never have gotten the facts, and they broadcast wrong information. This is all about the bottom line, and journalism is no longer journalism. For them, it's having entertainers on the air and being the first one to report something new, and that doesn't mean it's correct. So, they even got the name of the assailant, the alleged assailant, wrong. That's the basic. The basic in journalism is who, what, when, where, and sometimes why. But they didn't even get the who part correct, and it's just revolting that these organizations claim they're in the news business, and all they're involved in is just hype. And you get more facts today out of the National Enquirer and the Globe, the tabloids, than you will get from these networks.
And like you said, Wayne, it is entertainment to them, and I remember just off the top of my head, referring to pop culture, the show The Newsroom, where they had the simulated scene where they weren't like other news outlets to report a story first. They waited till they got it right, and it's sad that an entertainment show is more journalistic than what we have currently.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, and that's why a lot of the people with the media are watching that program.
That's true. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll dig deep into what's hiding behind the Sandy Hook School massacre with Wayne Madsen. And we'll also get an update from Wayne on not even mentioned, the Petraeus scandal. We'll get to that next on Through the Mirror with Larry Sinclair on the Rents Radio Network. I'm Julio.
Scientists in England have succeeded in stabilizing the time-honored substance in garlic that destroys harmful bacteria, viruses, molds, yeast, and fungus. This all-natural microbe killer is called Allicin C, and it's now available to you in 100% vegetarian capsules only on the New Earth page at Rents.com. This powerful broad-spectrum antimicrobial agent is harmless to friendly bacteria and has been concentrated to equal an astonishing 35 cloves of garlic in each vegetarian capsule. Think about it. The antibacterial, antiviral strength of 35 odorless cloves of garlic in just one capsule. Allicin C is so effective it even destroys superbug MRSA in test after test. Allicin C is truly an incredible advance in natural medicine, and with the threats of bacterial and viral diseases and pandemics growing, no home should be without it. Learn more and order Allicin C on the New Earth page at Rents.com.
Remember this name, Carnivora. That's CARNIVORA.com. What if I told you that this 100% pure and natural product was delivered directly to the White House at President Reagan's personal request at a time when only the president was able to obtain it? Reagan used this amazing product, Carnivora, successfully, a product derived only from nature that has the intelligence to instinctively attack abnormal cells only without harming a single normal cell, and the power to actually wake up critical immune cells from dormancy to attack foreign invaders that don't belong in our bodies. Carnivora is now obtainable by anyone who wants to get healthy and stay that way. Call 1-866-VENUS-FLY and protect yourself with 17 naturally occurring compounds that will unleash powerful immune defense. That's 1-866-VENUS-FLY. Call 1-866-VENUS-FLY and get your Carnivora today. Visit carnivora.com.
Known worldwide as the most consistently fascinating, informative, and unique program on radio, the Jeff Rense program can be yours to listen to anytime, anywhere, whenever you want to hear it. For pennies a day, our subscribers can download any of Jeff's thousands of programs featuring a treasury of newsmakers, researchers, eyewitnesses, and incredible subjects, all in MP3 commercial-free, crystal-clear 56-bit digital sound, and take these often unforgettable programs with them wherever they go. As a subscriber, you can also listen live at airtime, online, anywhere in the world, or browse through our archives of over 10,000 hours of legendary broadcasts. Subscribe now by taking the link at the top of Rents.com and enrich your mind with the most unique panorama of vital information and the best independent, honest journalism in radio. Look for the Subscribe Now link on Rents.com and give yourself the knowledge you need for these unprecedented times.
Here in the suburbs of Chicago, and we're joined by guest Wayne Madsen of WayneMadsenReport.com, investigative journalist. All right, Wayne, let's get back to your article. What's hiding behind the Sandy Hook massacre? And again, all the misinformation going on from corporate media. There's obviously people questioning a whole bunch going on with the shooting. And I always, anytime we hear of breaking stories with mass shootings, I personally, as a journalist, tend to try to get the live feed from the local affiliates in the particular state or city that event's taking place, because that's where they do the live interviews with witnesses, and you get a sense of really what's going on instead of what corporate media is telling us and all the regurgitated information. And Wayne, let's get to some of the things that was reported on the local affiliates, mentioned a little bit by corporate media, but really wasn't investigated further. And that's, as what you've quoted, Mr. Camo, the supposed second shooter, the man that was arrested in the woods right by the school. You mentioned it in your article. Elaborate further on Mr. Camo and why we're not hearing about this person.
Because there's the LA Times and the Atlantic, which is a terrible magazine, by the way. It's propaganda, not like, well, it's sort of like Fox, a little more sophisticated, but the Atlantic is propaganda from the Zionists. It's absolutely nothing more than propaganda. But they said that Mr. Camo, this is the guy. And now we've got the police band recordings from that day where they're talking about a second shooter, a second suspect. But CBS News interviewed somebody who said, yeah, there was a guy arrested wearing camouflage pants and a black jacket hiding in the woods behind the school. And he looked at the parents who were gathered there, feverishly waiting for information on their children, and said, I didn't do it. And then the police put him in the front of the cruiser instead of the back, but he was handcuffed, which is rather odd because you're always going to put a suspect in the back seat. And so we heard nothing more about this individual. The Atlantic said, he was the athletic director from a school on the other side of town who was there because he was visiting his daughter in the first grade to help the class put together gingerbread houses. Well, first of all, if he's the athletic director at a high school on the other side of town, how's he getting time off to do something like that? But even more bizarre, if he realizes there's this why would he, his daughter in the first grade, I would assume she was 6 or maybe 7 years old, why would he leave her there and run away and run into the woods and hide? That doesn't sound like what most parents would do. This thing doesn't hold any water. This guy is a person of interest, but we're told now by organizations like the Atlantic, and I should point out they one of their big writers is Jeffrey Goldberg, who is nothing more than a fabulist who writes propaganda for Israel. But we're told by the Atlantic that anyone who believes that the camouflage pants man is key is a conspiracy theorist. This is the normal thing with these organizations. This is what they say. Instead of doing exhaustive investigation of the entire story, they just say, well, if you don't go with the line, you're a conspiracy theorist. I mean, this is the same stuff with 9/11 and everything else. And the Atlantic, I believe that the Atlantic should be out of business. It should have gone the way of Collier's and Ladies' Home Journal. Why is it still in business when all these other better magazines have gone by the wayside? It's still in business because it's a propaganda organ. So they're not. Somebody else is paying their freight. Probably Israeli lobby.
It's just so odd. Why would an athletic director be hiding in the woods of an elementary school? I mean, that story just that doesn't match up, and they they just assume that people are going to buy it. Some people do buy it, but obviously wise people, Wayne, aren't going to buy that garbage.
Yeah, I mean, it's the way it is with the media. As I say, they said that the mother of Adam Lanza, the suspect in the shooting, was a kindergarten teacher at the school. That wasn't true. Then they said she had no affiliation with the school, and then they backtracked and said, oh, she was a teacher's aide. This story is all over the map. Well, there's a reason. My thought is when you get all of these conflicting stories, and look, this is a small town. This isn't like 9/11 in New York City and North Jersey, where of course you have a lot of different information around because there's millions of people. This is a really small town. I feel the reason we're getting conflicting information, especially from the authorities, is 6 years ago I was informed by someone in Connecticut that the state is probably the number one state for pedophilia, and the state institutions were in cover-up mode. Child Protective Services, the schools, judges, courts, all the way up to the state government, and this individual tried to get me interested in investigating this in Connecticut. I'm spread very thin. You know, I have to pick and choose my stories carefully, and I said, well, gee, I can't, I really don't have the means to get up there, and I put her off on a journalist closer in New York who apparently didn't have time either. So I felt a little bad about that, but when I first started hearing the circumstances about this case, I went back and looked at the information I was sent 6 years ago, and bingo, it's all there, the school system. And then you look at that particular diocese, the Bridgeport Diocese of the Catholic Church. That's where Newport is, and they've had a huge pedophile scandal involving parochial schools and the churches in that area, in Danbury and in Bridgeport, and St. Rosa of Lima Church, where the Lances apparently attended, which got a bomb threat during one of the masses for the victims, is part of that diocese. So I'm not saying there's pedophiles there, but certainly if we look at the John Allen Mohammed case with
Hold that thought, Wayne. Hold that thought, Wayne. We'll take a break. We'll talk more about this on the other side. Again, this is stuff you won't be hearing on the corporate media programs. That is for sure. We'll take a break. This is Through the Mirror with Larry Sinclair on the Rents Radio Network. I'm Julio Rausseo. Go to WayneMadsenReport.com. Follow me on Twitter, JM.
My mom's meatballs, my grandma's sauce, and Vicky's cookies, chocolate s'mores, Thor with dental hygiene's lost. Then let's go get high, can make a chocolate to eat dental floors. California, seeing the sights, getting drunk, looking up at the Napa Valley moonshine, gazing at the stars in the Hollywood nights. If the stars were by my side, I heard Lady Liberty lost her crown. As I was searching for my country at the lost and found, fell in love at first sight, messing around. He had the cutest little nose against the window at the dog he found. I'm American made.
It's a real pleasure to introduce you to permaculture, a new concept that can allow all of us to survive these times of crisis, economically and with food, water, and energy in a healthy and abundant fashion. How? By establishing the amazing permaculture food forests. With one simple, fun, fascinating step-by-step guide, you can become completely confident about survival with permaculture. Food forests and permaculture are productive, life-saving technologies for any climate in both urban and rural settings. Jeff Lawton is the world's foremost permaculture authority, teacher, designer, and consultant. Jeff has successfully worked in many countries, cultures, and different climates, helping people survive with permaculture. Come and enjoy an exclusive aerial guided video tour with Jeff of his water harvesting swales, dams, and food forests. Go to jefflawton.org to view this fascinating free video on how to survive and prosper with permaculture. That's GEOFFLAWTON.org. American Masters Painting, a family-owned and operated business beautifying homes in Northern Virginia for over 30 years. American Masters craftsmen serve all of your painting, staining, and wood refinishing needs. American Masters not only guarantees to deliver satisfying results, they also promise a positive, rewarding, and personalized experience to your complete satisfaction. American Masters Painting is recognized for its flawless expertise in all custom interior and exterior projects. For a free and timely estimate, contact American Masters Painting toll-free at 888-760-7760 or visit AmericanMastersPainting.com. And remember, when you're thinking American Masters Painting, you're thinking one family serving another, one project at a time. American Masters Painting is a proud sponsor of Through the Mirror with Larry Sinclair on the Rents Radio Network.
You're listening to the Rents Radio Network, coast to coast on the Galaxy 19 KU band satellite, nationwide and worldwide on the Internet, and of course, on Rents.com.
Are chemtrail geoengineering programs changing our weather and destroying our environment? Why in the world are they spraying?
They want to create a storm in the southeast, then they'll start engineering out over the North Pacific. That's where the tradies will be.
Find out why critics are calling Why in the World Are They Spraying the most important film that is revolutionizing the environmental movement.
It's just going to get worse until the point where we're not going to be able to grow anything at all unless it's a Monsanto genetically modified, abiotic stress resistant seed.
Why in the world are they spraying? New international version with languages available from around the world. For 1 month, Rents listeners receive free shipping. Go to the banner on the front of the Rents website and click on the link for more info.
It's all about money, and weather is another form of commoditizing, a way the Central Command Group can commoditize another form of our life.
Why in the world are they spraying?
And if you control the weather, you're going to control the planet. It's that simple.
Will 2012 bring the Mayan end of world or the global banking collapse? In 2007, one man, Mike Dillard, made 5 predictions which forecasted the 2008 economic crisis and the pending Eurozone collapse. This week, Mike unleashes 3 brand new, shocking, must-watch videos with predictions for the coming year. www.the3videos.com. Over the past, thousands of ordinary people create and recover wealth by tapping into the black box investing strategies the big banks don't want you to know about. www.the3videos.com. As the European banking system implodes and governments collapse at breakneck speeds, the next 12 months will be the most anticipated and important months in modern human history. This will make 2008 look like a walk in the park. Everyone will be affected. Go to www.the3videos.com now. Learn how to prepare your family and prosper during the global financial collapse.
You're my soldier boy, a man amongst men. You're my soldier boy.
Julio Rausseo, joined by Wayne Madsen, investigative journalist. Go to his website, WayneMadsenReport.com. That's WayneMadsenReport.com. There's just so much interesting tidbits about this Sadie Hook shooting in Newtown, Connecticut. The father being the former vice president of GE Financial Services. Just these prior shootings, the family backgrounds doesn't match the way corporate media is spinning the story. Ruthless, demented killers. When you look at the family background, they come from some well-off families. It's very interesting. Before we went to break, Wayne, you were discussing how Connecticut, a huge state for pedophilia, and how that potentially could tie in to this shooting. Continue with what you were talking about before the break.
Yeah, well, we know from the John Allen Mohammed case where he went around the country with underage teen Lee Malvo. They were killing people with sniper rifles, and then they went and terrorized Washington, D.C. for several weeks. We know afterwards that Malvo said that this older man, Mohammed, was molesting him. That's the type of relationship that they had. And, of course, Muhammad was teaching Malvo how to kill people with a sniper's rifle. It's possible that this is the same type of situation, that Adam Lanza, who, by all estimates, had a very troubled childhood. The father and mother divorced. Lanza was a problem in school, was a loner, didn't want anyone touching him. And there's witnesses all saying the same thing, from the barber he went to other people he knew, that he didn't want anyone to touch him. Well, that's a sure clue. That is a sure clue of someone who's been abused. You can talk to all kinds of counselors that'll tell you one of the key clues for that is they don't want to be touched because of the trauma associated with the abuse that they've suffered. But this, of course, is not being talked about by the media. The media would rather go into well, they are talking about mental health issues, but this is a different kind of an issue. Yes, obviously, someone who's abused as a child has a severe mental health issue, but we haven't heard anyone talking about this yet because you've got the Catholic Church up there that's had to pay huge fines as a result of their involvement with pedophilia. We know that they went to one of the churches in the diocese that had to pay those fines, but the Catholic Church has a lot of power, and they'll ensure that the media doesn't touch this story if this is where it's going to end up. Look how long it took for the Sandusky case at Penn State to go mainstream, when it was known about this guy for at least 22 years, if not longer, what he was. And this could be the same. This could be the same type of situation.
That is fascinating, and we spoke on Tuesday about how Newtown is a commuter type city. It's about only an hour from New York City. A lot of well-off people are from that area. This story could lead down a bigger rabbit hole, you feel, in terms of a bigger secret down in Newtown, Connecticut, and in other parts of the whole state as a whole, in general.
Yeah, and we, again, we know that we found out later that Adam Lanza went to that elementary school, that the principal and the psychologist, the staff psychologist, who she had been there for 18 years, so she was there when Lanza was attending that school. We found out that the school principal and the psychologist both knew Lanza's mother, Nancy Lanza, who he allegedly shot 4 times in the head. So they all knew each other, and they were apparently friends with each other. And the type of situation, if Nancy Lanza had a problem with him in the elementary school, we know that problem continued on to junior high and high school, and then on into college at West Connecticut University, where he attended and then dropped out. So where is a teacher's aide at the elementary school going to go when she has problems with her son? She's going to go talk to her friends who know all about this kid, the principal and the psychologist. Now, did he shoot them? We were told that here's another case where the person had a mask on who was conducting the shooting. There's really no, we're not getting a lot of information from witnesses that Lanza was even the shooter. But again, he could have been the shooter, but he could have had some assistance from an older individual. As I say, and I'm surprised the FBI hasn't talked about, when they do this profiling, they've got this huge case with Muhammad and Malvo, which was, an older man and a boy committing similar acts. Okay, not necessarily mass shootings, but they were picking people off individually around the country. But there was also molestation going on. There's abuse going on between this man and this underage boy.
Unbelievable. Do you potentially think that this, quote, Mr. Campo could be that aide for Adam Lanza?
Yeah. I if I were an investigator, I'd want to know who this guy is, what's his relationship, what was his relationship, if any, with Lanza, why was he there, and we haven't heard any of that. I want to say one thing. A lot of misreporting. They had the Connecticut State Police spokesman say if we find anyone's putting out this information, we're going to prosecute. Well, there was some liberal cutting of his comments on YouTube, and what he said was anyone who claims they're with us, the Newtown Police, or it was Connecticut State Police or the Newtown Police, that we will prosecute. That's what he was talking about. So I don't know. These people that say, they're going to come, if you don't report the facts, they're going to come. That's not what happened. The people cutting, this YouTube, they make their own videos. They can edit these people, and they cut out some very important information. So, there's just so much disinformation with this story. But if it is in fact a pedophile story, that's what the pedophiles do. They put out this information. They want to throw people off.
Unbelievable. And how convenient, too, Wayne, before we go to break, that the hard drive is supposedly crashed, it's broken, and forensics may not be able to retrieve the information on Lanza's computer.
That's another clue that this could be a pedophile situation, is that they always get rid of the hard drive because it contains child pornography. And we've seen that with the John Mark Carr case, the guy that was supposed to kill John Benet Ramsey, but who did not, but was under investigation for possession of child porn up in Santa Rosa, California. That hard drive somehow walked out of the police evidence room, was never found. And then the Penn State case with Rick Carr, the district attorney in Center County, his hard drive disappeared along with him, and then it was found in the Susquehanna months after he disappeared, and none of the information could be obtained off of it. So again, they were pedophile cases. Hard drives tend to get damaged in pedophile cases.
And I want to read a quote from your article before we go to break. You say, some of the child abuse in Connecticut also involves, quote, New Age religious cults, including some of the satanic underpinnings. I find that very interesting as well. And you also talk about the 1996 report by the senior assistant state's attorney for Connecticut on allegations of misconduct in dealing with child abuse cases by the state of Connecticut and by federal authorities, including the FBI.
Yes, that was the Massimino report. Very key report, and it indicts the entire state of Connecticut with covering up pedophilia in that state.
This is unbelievable, and this really isn't stuff you're going to hear on corporate media, and it really does blow my mind. Did you see the video, Wayne, of the medical examiner, his press conference?
I've read his quotes. I don't think I saw the video of him. No.
It's I think you should check that video out. It's very odd, strange events going on there in Newtown, Connecticut. You got smiling before press conferences. You've got it's so odd what's going on.
Yeah, and I would note that Anderson Cooper, who I don't believe is a journalist, he's another one of these poltroons, but he was trying to paint the Newtown as this Norman Rockwell painting of a New England, a nice cozy New England town, and it's not true. The second largest gun lobby in the country after the NRA is headquartered right there in Newtown. Connecticut, of course, manufactures some of the biggest they had some of the biggest gun manufacturers in the history of the United States located in Connecticut. And as far as this being a typical New England town, the Lanzas lived on a street called Yogananda Street, and that is not an American Indian name. That is named after a Maharishi from India who came to the United States in the 1920s and became a cult leader, instant cult leader, the typical following by Hollywood, the Hollywood people, celebrities, and the town named a street after a yogi. That to me is not a typical New England town.
This is just so fascinating. Very, very interesting. And again, they're using this tragedy to exploit gun laws, gun control in this country. Overall, Wayne, where do you see this exploitation going? Are we going to see executive orders by Obama? He kind of hinted at that yesterday in his press conference. What are we going to see by this exploitation by corporate media and by politicians?
I think the debate is off kilter. I think what we ought to be talking about is controlling the arms manufacturers. The Fabrique Nationale, which now owns most of these small arms manufacturers. Look, these companies also sell automatic weapons to African countries and Latin American countries where children are killed. But, it doesn't seem to have any impact. Thousands of children were killed in Sierra Leone, but they got black skin. And I'm not, kids are kids, but, and it's terrible when a child dies, but the impact of these kids in Connecticut, these young little kids being hit, 3 and 4 times with a Bushmaster. But if you tell somebody, well, hundreds were killed in the same manner in Sierra Leone, it doesn't have the same impact. But what is common to both are these gun manufacturers. But and most of them are now it's monopoly. Fabrique Nationale, which is a Belgian company, but they manufacture in Connecticut and in North Carolina and South Carolina. That these companies have to be put out of business. You want to restrict automatic weapons. You restrict. You say, okay, the factories are going to come under the military. No longer will private companies be manufacturing automatic weapons. Just drive them out of business. They go after the companies. That's the only way you're going to get rid of these automatic weapons off the street. But they are the lobby. They fund the NRA. Everybody wants to restrict the guns. I say restrict the companies. And I'm very much a socialist in this. I say nationalize. If you can't do it any other way, nationalize the companies and just seize their assets and say the government is now going to be manufacturing automatic weapons from here on out.
Finally, Wayne, before I let you go, a quick update on this Petraeus scandal. I know you have a new book out on your website, The Benghazi Standown and the Plot to Chastise Obama. Talk about your new project and an update on the Petraeus scandal briefly.
Well, yeah, the Petraeus thing sort of died, with the shooting. But I would note that we were seeing Paula Broadwell, FBI, announcing charges dropped against her on the stalking case against Jill Kelly and the woman in Tampa. We have General Mattis, the head of Central Command, we're seeing an early change of command for him at Central Command in Tampa. The purge is continuing. The biggest news this past week was the Secretary of Defense Panetta, in answer to a question, what were the issues he considered when they fired Petraeus, he just answered the question, well, with all his emails out there, we really had no choice. First of all, he's not in Petraeus' chain of command, never was. Secretary of Defense is not, superior to the CIA director. And he should have said, well, I had no role in that. That was General Clapper and the President of the United States. But he answered the question anyway. That indicates that Petraeus did not resign, but he was fired, and people said, look, we expect your resignation on the president's desk as soon as possible. That's how it really went down. But the purges of disloyal people who were trying to set up a hostage situation in Benghazi, I think we're seeing more and more proof of that coming out, especially with whether it was Panetta's, it was a slip of the tongue or he said it on purpose. I don't know yet. We don't know that yet. But now we have the report out of the independent panel trying to blame the whole situation on State Department, Bureau of Diplomatic Security. I worked there at one time. Yeah, you can blame them for anything. That is the most dysfunctional bunch of unprofessional, incompetent people probably within the federal government, or at least one of them. That is the Bureau of Diplomatic Security. And that's like shooting fish in a barrel. You could get people there, but I think the reason they fired people there is they want this now to go away. They want to sweep this under the carpet. And I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of careers come to a close, but the real story is who conspired to set up a hostage situation in Benghazi that would make Mitt Romney the President of the United States. And that's the question that needs to be answered. That's really what the book gets into.
WayneMadsenReport.com is where you can find the book and more of Wayne's unbelievable reporting. Wayne, Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays. Have a great New Year.
Merry Christmas. Okay.
And thank you for the well wishes, Wayne, and I'll talk to you in the new year, my friend.
Okay, sounds good. You bet.
Merry Christmas, Wayne. All right, Larry Sinclair is on the line. This is the final show for me on this incredible journey. Mr. Sinclair, hello.
And the question is how was that journey over the last, give or take 6-7 months?
Well, I'm incredibly grateful for this opportunity, Larry. It's been a fantastic ride. I really have to thank first Wayne Madsen for introducing me to you at CPAC and being able to talk to you over the last 10 months or so. And it's been a great ride. And I, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you giving me this opportunity, Larry.
Are you kidding me? You've helped me out more than you know. Look, I do want to thank you for hosting the first hour on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You know, it has been an incredible ride and journey. We've had the privilege of broadcasting live from the Paul Fest and from Tampa during the Republican Convention. You've had the opportunity of broadcasting live from covering different events, including the third-party presidential candidates debate in Chicago. Look, all I can say is that for the last 9+ months, you know, we have some very interesting radio archives and interviews and programs that will continue to be available for people to download. Julio, are you going to be at CPAC 2013?
I am planning on it. I plan to be out there. I know it's a new location, but I'm hopeful I have the funds to make my way out to the Potomac in a couple of months.
Yep, it is definitely going to be at the Gaylord National. I look forward to seeing you there, if not sooner. I do know that I plan on being there, and from there I plan on being at World Water Day events at Water Missions International in Charleston, South Carolina, who just happens to be the guest coming up in the second hour tonight. Julio, I'm going to let you tell your listeners good night, and I will be back at the top of the hour after the news break with George and Molly Green from Water Missions International.
Thank you for everything, Larry, and again, hopefully we see each other before CPAC. If not, I'll see you down in the Potomac in a few months. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, my friend.
You too.
Thank you, Larry. Wow, yeah, I can't believe the journey is over, but it's been one hell of a ride. Thanks to Brett in the studio out at Rents Radio Network for all of his work. He's, without him, we're not on the air. So thank you to him, and a big thanks to Wayne Madsen of WayneMadsenReport.com. Able to get him on the last few months with some huge stories, and again, we've been what I want to do as an independent journalist, investigative reporter, is not act like corporate media and feed you propaganda. I honestly feel that just like JFK told the press corps in New York, the supposed speech that killed Kennedy a few months before he passed away, that it's up to the journalists to give the public information without bias and let the public decide where to lead this country. And hopefully I can continue that work. Big thanks to Larry. Big thanks to Rents Radio Network for this opportunity. Peace, love, and God bless. From Chicago, I'm Julio Rausseo. Follow my work at JN Reports on Twitter, and hopefully I can continue my work in the near future. Take care. Hour 2 is next. So long for the final time. And again, follow me at JN Reports on Twitter. Thanks to Wayne Madsen, Larry Sinclair, and everyone else. So long, everybody.
You gotta be the man. Stand up and defend us. Check it out, I was kicking back, watching the flash screen, surfing through the channel, political pundits, all I see propaganda or integrity. Who's gonna win this? Come on, raise your rhythm and a venom miss. It was a left took integrity, got hit in the jaw. From the shot, heard around the world he never saw. Coming from a shout score. Looks like I picked another bloody loser. Betting all the media will do that to ya. Are you a contender? Hell yeah. Or just a pretender? You gotta be the man. Stand up and defend us. Welcome to the main event. Here we go.
Oxygen. It's nature's oldest therapy and plays an essential role in destroying viruses, bacteria, mold, yeast, and fungus, and keeping the human body healthy and strong. Now, you can give your body and your immune system a mega boost of disease-fighting oxygen with all-natural Oxy-C. With so many people now leading a sedentary indoor lifestyle, most are in a chronic state of oxygen deprivation, which sets up a perfect environment for disease, general fatigue, and a host of other symptoms. Oxy-C is yours in simple, convenient capsules. Nothing to mix, nothing to hassle with. Take it with juice or water anytime. Feel a cold or flu approaching? Have no energy or spark anymore? Try all-natural Oxy-C and prepare to be amazed. Oxy-C is only available from New Earth Health Solutions at Rense.com. Look for the New Earth banner at Rense.com.
Hi, this is Jeff Rentz. Royal Raymond Rife was without question the most gifted medical scientific genius of our age. He discovered that most disease-related microbes die quickly when exposed to their own specialized resonant radio frequencies. The BCX411 Rife-type frequency instrument has received the highest praise on several continents for its precision, simplicity of operation, and successful research experiment. The BCX, with its comprehensive manual, allows you to select the frequencies you wish to experiment with for the length of time you want to run them. The BCX handheld plasma ray tubes and RF radio carrier